It's Friday Sews and time for an update on my Melbourne trip. Yay! Hello everyone, welcome to Sewing Seams with Deb. It's Friday Sews and today I'm going to tell you about my trip to Melbourne, my recent holiday, where I caught up with some fellow vloggers who are based in Victoria, and we had a lot of fun. So we met up on one of the days and we met at the Flinders train station, which is quite a well-known place for people to meet. And the lovely two lovely ladies that I met were Deb from DB Designs Australia and Katrina from Create Something Pretty. And we had a lovely day together. We went down to Brunetti Oro, which is an Italian restaurant, and they're very, very well known in Melbourne for their coffees and their lovely cakes. So we had our lovely morning tea there. Then we went up to Morris & Sons, the yarn shop, and we had a great time in there, having a look around and just feeling all the beautiful yarns and the wools and all the different pattern books, and so much to see. I need to apologise to you because I did take some photos, but I've had some trouble with my camera, and so I'm a bit limited with images that I can put up. But I'll do my best to put one up of us three ladies together that one of the girls shared with me, so I'll be able to loan that off them. And then we went up to Tessuti Fabrics, which is an amazing fabric store in Melbourne CBD, and we spent some time there, had a look at all the patterns, had a look at and tried on some of the garments that are made up as samples, and were able to see which size we would make. So that's always a fabulous thing to do if you ever get a chance in any of the fabric or yarn stores. Often they'll have samples made up, so try them on, work out what size is going to fit you, how you need to adjust it, and it's always a fabulous idea to do that. Now, Tessuti Fabrics do sell online, and as most stores do these days, and it's just so lovely to go and touch and feel all the fabrics. Whilst I buy most of my fabrics online, I really do like to touch and feel them all to figure out and really understand what they mean when they explain the GSM and the drape and what it feels like and what it feels like on my skin. So we had a great time in there too. We decided to have some lunch. So Melbourne is quite well known for its many arcades and very historic arcades as well. And we ended up in the Block Arcade, which is absolutely beautiful, at a place called the Tea Rooms, believe it or not. So I had all of us had lovely tea, and two of us had tea and one of us had coffee, and then we had a lovely sandwich, which they were beautiful sandwiches with very different type of things in them. So I do have an image of that, which I'll pop up here. So we enjoyed that lunch, and then we went back to the train and departed our various ways. So we had a lovely day together, and a very special thank you to both Deb and Katrina for coming into the city on that day and meeting with me, and then for our lovely conversations. We had so much to talk about. How good is it to meet up with someone that not only is a sewer, not only maybe a knitter or knows people or family members who are knitters or crocheters, but also they're YouTubers. So we had so many things to talk about. So we'll have to do that again next time I'm in town, won't we? I took the opportunity while I was in Melbourne to go out to Fitzroy, which is very close to Collingwood. It's a well-known area or district for fabrics, and it is where the fabric store is located. Now, the fabric store online is the fabric store that I often buy fabrics from. They're based in New Zealand. I've mentioned to them quite a few times to you. And so they have a few outlets, one in Sydney, one in Melbourne. There might be another one, and of course New Zealand. So I was able to again touch and feel a lot of the fabrics, and I do have images of this store. So after much deliberation and long conversations with the beautiful young lady that was the shopkeeper, she helped me see that there are some specials, and they do have them available online as well. So it was great for me to talk to them about the online side of shopping. And I ended up getting some of this, which is called active wear. It was the end of the bolt, and I got it for $12 a metre. So I've got a couple of metres. I've got it written down, so I keep referring to my notes. 2 metres. So I've got a red long sleeve t-shirt made out of this, and it's actually really fabulous to wear. Now it is merino, and it's got a mix with some nylon in it, I think, as well. So it's got merino mix, so it is going to be beautiful to sew up. And Jen in Jen's sewing room does this, and I'm going to start doing it too because I think it's hilarious. I'm going to chuck it over my shoulder. So the next thing I brought was this black. Now this is 70% merino wool and 30% polypropylene, which is nylon. So it's quite, you know, you can see your skin through it, but I thought this would be great for undergarments, being that it's wool. And this was also a remnant. So I got 1.3 metres, and it's very wide. So I'm going to get a lot out of this, maybe 2 long sleeve t-shirts or a singlet. So that's that. Now, the other thing that I got was this is, before I get to that, before I get to the beautiful one, they're all beautiful, but before I get to the expensive one, I bought this, let me just consult my notes. This is a bit of a remnant, and this has got some nylon in it as well. It's basically a double knit. It's not normally the colour I would wear, but I just couldn't pass it up. It was cheap, and it's got merino in it, so I was very happy, and it's double knit, so I'll probably make a jumper out of that. So that's beautiful. It's probably medium weight. Can you see? So I will make something out of that, and I might jazz it up in the way I like to. So that was the third item that I bought out of the remnant bucket. Now the last thing that I brought, well, this is the thing that I deliberated on for so long. I was in the shop for ages. And it's called ZQ, which is the very premium 100% merino. And ZQ, the lovely lady explained, is that it's all organically grown. The animals are treated with great care and with lots of love, and it's all natural. So that's what the ZQ, it stands for something, but look at the beautiful drape. Now my idea is, and again, I couldn't decide what colour. They had basically every colour. I couldn't decide, so I thought I'd just get this colour, and then I will make some undergarments, being that it's 100% wool, and then I will know what I want next time when I order online. How beautiful is the drape? It's a lightweight. I would call it a lightweight. It's beautiful. So I'll be making something out of that. All of these fabrics haven't been washed yet. So I just bought 1 metre because it's $49 Australian a metre. It's not cheap, but it's very much worth it. So I can't wait to make something out of that. Now I want to correct myself here because I've just found my notes on the little online, the fabric store card they gave me, and my correcting myself with the number of stores in Australia, We've got the New Zealand store, of course, which we know about, but we've also got Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and Adelaide. So they're branching out. And it's a very, very big store and easy to find. And you'll see that it's opposite some other lovely shops as well. So the fabric store's next to a couple of fun stores as well. Gorman is next door, and over the road is another fabric store which I went in, and I've got these images here to show you about their buttons and their fabrics as well. And very, very tempting to come back with armloads of fabric, but I was there particularly for the online store, the fabric store. So I didn't really want to spend all my money in any other shop, like the Draper's shop next door over the road. So I wanted to crack on and get over the road to the fabric store. So that was my focus, and it seemed to work well. So whilst I got a few of the bargains, I also stretched the budget a little bit, and but I'm very, very pleased with that. Now I need to wash those fabrics in preparation for my makes. While I was in Victoria, the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show was on, and as I mentioned earlier in another video, I might have said it a couple of times, that I wanted to go to Bendigo Woollen Mills while I was in the area or the region. And it was just coincidence that while I was there, the Sheep and Wool Show was on. So I was very excited about that. Now, first of all, we were going to go up as a family. However, that didn't work out. So I went up on my own, and it's 2 hours on the train one way. So a lovely train trip on the V line in Victoria. And because of the Sheep and Wool Show, they had a shuttle bus running from the train via Bendigo Woollen Mills out to the show and then back again. So that worked out perfect for me because it's kind of walking distance, but it was probably a bit too far, a bit too time consuming to walk to the Woollen Mills from the train. And it was a freezing cold day with very, very cold wind. And I can't remember ever seeing so many people with woolen jumpers, woolen coats and beanies on. And all the hooray of beautifully hand knitted beanies and hats, and ladies in their beautiful outfits with their lovely, beautiful long boots. And I just had a lovely time. And while I was obviously in Bendigo, my purpose going to the Woollen Mills. So I did take some pictures. Some of them, as I mentioned, my camera was playing up and I didn't realise until later, so I wasn't able to take any more pictures. So I have shown you I've got here some of the pictures of inside the Bendigo Woollen Mills, but unfortunately it's very limited. So the other part that was really, really fabulous, aside from being able to pick up bargains while you're in store, and also able to once again see the patterns made up in their yarn in samples and to be able to try them on. So all of that took place and had a look at all of those. There was a lot of people there, many more than I've seen in the past, of course, because of the show, and that attracts a lot of people to town. And the other sorry about that, it's the next day. I've had more phone trouble, so next day, so I'm wearing something slightly different. Anyway, I was talking about Bendigo Woollen Mills. They had because of the wool and sheep show, they had a shuttle bus from the train station to the Bendigo Woollen Mills and over to the show and back again. So how fantastic was that? So I accessed that, and as well as anyone who was in store during the show, so those 3 days, the Bendigo Woollen Mills provided free shipping. So that was a bonus for me, and I ended up buying more yarn than I had anticipated, but I had such a lovely time in there. playing around and talking to other people, asking them what type of yarn they like, and I ended up buying some luxury. Now I'm still waiting for that to arrive, so when that arrives I will do an unpacking and get you involved. So that'll be fantastic. So the Bendigo Wool and Sheep Show was really fantastic as well, and it was great to go up there by the coach, by the free bus shuttle. There was a lot of people there, and as I said before, I've never seen so many people with beanies on and hats and woolen clothing and amazing coats. Like, that's very, very Melbourne. We just don't have that here in Perth. We do have cold weather, but it's quite limited, the amount of weeks that it goes on for. So that's it for my adventures in Melbourne related to my sewing and my knitting. So I'm going to leave you with that, and stay to the end because I've got a couple of bloopers that I've added, and I shall see you next time. Stay well, keep sewing, and catch you next time. Bye. And then I made my way back to Melbourne, and I was exhausted because I got back fairly late, and so I had a great time. It was fabulous to go to Bendigo. The show itself was fantastic. They had a lot of stands, and might have taken a couple of videos. And their product is hasn't got any nasties in it, any